Weep here. Welcome back to another video by VarietyMMOs. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new update, which is South Mediah. So South Mediah brings along with it a new zone, new items, and many other things that we're going to want to be collecting. And the main thing to probably keep an eye out for is the fact that the level cap has been raised and the CP level required to hit the end zones has been raised significantly. So at 4600 is the recommended CP for the final zone. We have a lot of grinding to do, so let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the new zone that is South Mediah. So if you have a look at the patch notes, you'll notice that there's a new zone here called South Mediah. Mediah is a zone that begins at the ending of the current quest zone, so the minimum requirement is 2700 CP. As you can see down here, the requirements to get into the later zones is quite significant. And whales are going to hopefully have to buy more pets and really good things to whale ahead. So hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll see a lot of items like support packages and pets on the market. So be sure you are sitting on some silver to buy those and don't waste it all on orange gear. So if we look in game and we go to the map, we'll see here that we have the new zone over here. And there is quite a lot of places that you can go to. Something to keep in mind is that some of these zones can actually drop red items. For example, if we click here, it can get a red helm or a red boot, which is amazing. And a lot of the zones can also drop the oranges. This will up the rate for dropping oranges, so bring the price down on orange overall. However, to get into the new zone, people are going to need the oranges. So over the next couple of days, a lot of whales and a lot of semi-whales are going to buy a lot of orange gear, pushing the price up, perhaps initially, to get into this new zone. Speaking of spending, there is a new update that is happened, and where is it? So if you open up into the shop, and you see this package here. So this package is very, very overpowered, and the fact that you now get black pearls on top of the white pearls, this hopefully encourages people to buy with white pearls and buy pets and stuff and sell them in the auction house, and then use the pearls to buy up yellows and orange accessories and other new things. Let's talk about the character level increase. So right now, the maximum level was 55. However, with the new update, it is now level 60. So previously, you would have gotten a 10% boost to your loot at level 55. However, that is gone until you are level 60. Now, I would like to point out here is that you would obviously get some CP at getting a higher level. However, getting to level 60 might be a little bit difficult for a majority of people. So in previous guides, I said that fishing is currently a waste of time due to the fact that you don't need it to get to level 55. However, fishing is now acceptable to do to reach level 60 if you want to get those last couple of levels. But I will warn you, it will take you a significant amount of time and may not be more beneficial than doing something like running more ults or grinding and getting there a little bit slower. Okay, enforcement. So now your weapon enhancement can go to level 35, which is honestly pretty crazy. So something to keep in mind with this is that before, yellow with 2 gem slots was a hard sell not to buy these instead of 1 slot oranges because the CP differences were there. However, the extra slot gave CP. The oranges scale harder depending on the base CP, and the base CP of oranges are higher than yellows. So buying oranges now with, say, stats like, for example, -2 attack speed would actually still be better than buying, for example, a yellow with 2 sockets like the Liberto Longsword here. So basically what I'm saying is buying orange instead of yellows is now more important, and it is acceptable to buy oranges with 1 socket than it is buying yellows with 2 sockets. If we go down here, we can also see the force enhancement feature has been added. So now you can use these new materials that you can get, the black crystal weapons and the refined black crystal weapons, and you can use these to enforce. Basically, this forces your weapon to upgrade, and it is a faster way of doing it. However, these stones are a lot harder to get than the normal stones that you get, which are the black stones that you've been collecting up to this point. These do not have a 100% success rate. They're actually quite low. In Korea, I used a lot of these. I probably used 50 or 100 of these usually just to get one, so the rate is really not that good. So when you get them, feel free to use them, and they will use up a lot of silver. However, don't expect for them to necessarily work because the rate is quite low. continuing on with enforcement, I should probably explain a little bit more. So as you can see here, the enforcement stones can be used from plus 20 to plus 34. What this means is that instead of going into your game and going to Black Spirit and going to enhance and then upgrading it and try to get this to 100%, when you're above 20, you can go into here, go into force enhancement, click on say the weapon, and then click on a stone and try to force it to say from 26 to 27, for example. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have a higher success rate when you get higher up. So this is an optional way to get some more enhancements and doesn't include the original stones. I would usually use the original stones first to get up to about level 28 to 30, and then try to use these stones to go from 30 to 35. Let's talk about the Relic. So up to now, the main way to get the Relic was to go to a list in a town and buy the Relic from an NPC using your contribution. You now no longer need to do this, so you can get better ones and you can save a bit of contribution to get better workers if that's what you wish to do. So to do this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your shop and go down to fragments. So fragments, you can now buy bundles of the new fragments if you wish, and what they're used on is the Relic. So the Relic is pretty much the same as the light stones, where you basically collect Relic instead of light stones and you autofill them in here. When this completes in the exact same way, it's going to give you a Relic. Now what you're probably thinking is, well, how do I obtain these Relic pieces? The main way to obtain them is through the ruins. So you're going to want to go through here and use your tablets. In here is the Relic fragments that you're going to be using to acquire them. Please note that there is an event going on right now, which is the hammer event when we do locate it. So if you enter the game here, it is possible to get really good rewards, including these stones if you're lucky to get them. I unfortunately got the red crystal one, but I've seen some other people get ones with like 200 boss scrolls and other things. So it is very worth doing this. Each day you're going to get 3 hits with the hammer. So if you go back one step, every day you'll get 3 hits and you enter game and then you hit it 3 times. Make sure you don't hit this because it will use 30 black pearls per hit. And also something to note, this is random, and let's say for example you get this bottom one here. If you get this bottom one, this whole board wipes. So if this is all clean and you get the bottom one, all these other rewards will disappear and it will refresh. So keep that in mind. You can't necessarily get the whole board if it's full of good rewards, for example. Let's talk about the exchange. So before we do this, let's go into the store and go down to, I believe it's in Misk, and go down to general goods, and you'll see a new item in here called the Shikaktu exchange certificates. So you can buy these with white pearls. Unfortunately, you can't get them with black pearls, but what these do is if you go out here and go to Shikaktu's gear store and you go to Shikaktu's exchange, what you could do is you give him a Relic. And what this will do is it'll change the Relic for one type or another. So let's have a look at the Relic here. I currently have a blue Relic. I can't do it with one from the quest, but however, if you gave him a blue Relic, he would re-roll the stats on the blue Relic and give you another blue Relic with different stats. For example, it'll change from attack to defense or defense to attack or whatever stats are available. So you're going to want to get, let's say for example, you get a high orange one from the fragments from earlier, from the ruins. However, it has stats that you don't necessarily want. You bring them in here and exchange it and hopefully get one that has the stats you desire. So with the latest update, they have done a update to the Blood Clan. So to open this up, you go into social and you go down to Blood Kin down here. And what you do is you select it and then you send a request to 2 other people. So this may be a little bit confusing at first. You may think that you have 2 parties of 2, but it's actually 1 party of 3. So these 2 slots here are filled up by 1 party. So when you invite 2 other people and you have a total of 3, you then need to click Affirm Pact, confirm the pact, and to get the bond. If you go into here and then somebody quits, let's say for example you have 3 people and 1 person leaves, the other 2 people are going to get punished with a 24-hour timer as well, where you cannot get other partners. So when you come in here, make sure you're doing it with a person that is going to affirm the fact and somebody you can communicate and not a random person, because it's not going to work. As you can see down here, you get combat XP and attack and defense, so it's actually pretty good. You'll also have the quest that you can do together once a week. So it's definitely worth doing this if you have a couple of people to play with. That covers everything in today's video. If you did like the video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. do consider checking out our website over here on the left, where we host all our MMO content and everything else that we're working on in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.